All right, welcome back to another episode of It Just Works. My name is Cameron, owner of Clear Sky and director. This is Alfred, and we are going to be. I thought you were gonna tell the audience what you do, but no. Okay,
No,
do you
I'm
want me
good.
to just do the
Yeah, you're
intros?
good. You got it.
Today we're going to talk about a couple things. The show is about social media, filmmaking news, technology, anything in entertainment. We discuss it. We're going to talk about Billie Eilish getting dragged into a crowd, Diane Keaton passing away, LinkedIn doing short form video. We're going to talk about, I'm forgetting the
Elon
other
Musk.
ones.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk calling for people to cancel Netflix, and influencers and the impact that they have on small businesses. And spoiler alert, sometimes it could get a little diabolical. So, and then who knows what else we talk about. I think those are going to be our subjects to
Yeah.
start with, but let's just jump into it.
Let's do it.
Why not, right? So the first one I wanted to talk about was Billie Eilish. It doesn't really pertain to pop culture or to video or film production or social media or anything, but like I saw this on social media and I thought it was kind of alarming. And what I wanted to talk about was how it pertains to just the climate of consumer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So have you seen the video?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen the actual footage of it.
it's weird. I'm not hearing you.
Test.
Okay, now I hear it. Yeah, okay, cool.
I think you just talk louder than I do.
Yeah, that's probably it.
I'll be a little closer.
Now I'll back up a little bit.
Okay.
So Billie Eilish is wrapping up a concert and she's walking through, like that safe space in between the crowd and the stage.
Yeah.
And she's giving high fives to everyone, doing her pop star thing. And a guy reaches out, grabs her, and tries to pull her over the barricade, like violently.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily she slips away and dips, but it's kind of, it's kind of scary, bro. Like, what if he grabbed her, pulled her away, and then just escaped in the crowd? Now Billie Eilish is in a crowd of Billie Eilish obsessed fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that could get deadly really fast.
Yeah.
And I think it's twofold. The first thing is the idolization of, figures in the entertainment space. Has it gotten out of hand, or is it a necessary evil? Because Billie Eilish doesn't sell out arenas because people are like whatever about her. Billie Eilish sells out arenas because people are obsessed with her.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes at this kind of cost or risk,
Mm-hmm.
right? So let's start there. What do you think about that? Like, do you feel like this is good for society? And if so, explain.
No, I don't think so at all.
Yeah.
I don't think this is good for society, in any one bit. And but the reality of it is that it's always been like this. You know what I mean? Like, it's always just been this kind of celebrities aren't real people. They're these kind of pedestals that we put on. There's these people that we put on pedestals and that they are above certain things. And I think people view them as such and don't treat them as human beings as well. So that's the other side of it, where it's just like, yeah, I can just grab this person because they're not a real person in my brain, and that's why I did this, because it doesn't matter. This isn't a real human being to me,
Yeah.
And I think that's the reality of it all. Like, the people don't view celebrities as human beings, and then in most cases, celebrities don't see themselves as normal human beings. That's why they act differently. I'm not saying Billie Eilish does, but in certain instances, it's like two double-edged sword. That you act that way, so people treat you that way.
Yeah. And ultimately, when you see videos like this, you have to think to yourself, like, how is this going to change?
Yeah.
Right? What needs to happen in order for this to not happen anymore? Now, two questions. First one is, do you think it can change? Like, do you think people are going to revert back to a respectable society where we're not pulling pop star artists over the barricades? Or do you feel like, can of worms is opened, Pandora's box cannot be closed. This is the reality that we have with social media, with the way that we idolize celebrities, and there's just no going back.
I don't think there's no going back. I think there's definitely going to be a point. There's definitely always going to be an outlier no matter what. There's always going to be people that are going to use whatever means, whatever, new technology, stuff like that. There's always going to take advantage of X, Y, and Z to project their agenda or whatever they want to do, right? And I don't think we can stop that at any really cost. I think we're always going to live with it, but I think the general consensus will continue to become a more positive, a more safe environment, just in hopes that those people are like weeded out one by one, right? Like that guy probably has a bunch of videos on him now and like is canceled and like everybody knows exactly who he is because
social justice.
Yes, exactly. And it'll weed itself out. But again, with the whole idea of social media, like you can be reincarnated and just make a new account. And that's the reality of it also.
Yeah. I think like, you know, what's crazy is I feel like we've entered into this era of like so many people can get canceled that it almost just doesn't mean anything anymore. You know,
100%.
It's like regular Joes have one viral video about them and everyone's like, get this person fired from their job. But like in the beginning, you know, that's effective. But now it's just like every single freaking time, like something bad happens in society, it's almost overwhelming as a society. It's almost like, you know, a guy can try to pull Billie Eilish over a barricade and still keep his job because so many people are trying to cancel people that like we just like don't care as a society anymore. It's like, oh man, it's like when you have 100 tasks that you have to do in the day and you can't decide on which one you want to do, so you do none of them.
Yeah,
that's kind of like what we're getting to when it comes to like trying to keep people socially accountable.
Yeah,
is there's just too many people to cancel. Like if we cancel everybody, no one's gonna have jobs.
Yeah.
So I feel like, man, I feel more on the side that we've opened up Pandora's box. There's no going back, and it's only gonna be getting worse. I don't know. That's just how I see it.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Because I want to hope that the world is gonna get better. Maybe there's a tipping point where we all just decide like we're this like enough is enough, and like the punishment, the severity of the punishments are going to be like deterrent of that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
And we've like kind of like moved past this like point of trying to be like conscious of fairness because we're so fed up with just like this kind of behavior that we're just going to be like, if you try to pull Billie Eilish over the barricades, you're going to jail for 10 years. You know, no one would do it.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah, exactly.
But that's getting into a whole different kind of conversation.
Yeah, like laws and
I
stuff.
think the second part is if we want to change this kind of behavior, we have to identify the root fault. And is the root fault coming from Billie Eilish, or is it coming from people on social media that build Billie Eilish into something that she doesn't really want to be, you know?
Double-edged sword. I mean, you could say both ends, right? You can make both arguments where it's like, oh, this person is only famous because the general consensus makes her famous, right? Like that's what make people famous, so that they buy the albums, they go to the concerts, they do the thing, right? And that's how the crowd makes Billie Eilish famous. Does Billie Eilish necessarily need to take that stance and be famous and continue to write music? It's like, I mean, you could say no because she has her own free will, right? So is it her fault, like because she chooses to continue doing this? But that's not something you can fault somebody for, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, you know, that's where I'm trying to get at. Is like, does like who's fanning down the flames?
Yeah.
Because if you have people obsessed with you, you're gonna sell more concerts. You know, it's kind of like building a following on Instagram. You know, it's like you want people to be obsessed with you, so they pay whatever they need to pay that'll make you rich. That's kind of like the idea, right? I guess. And it doesn't change when it comes to music. It's like, you know, I want to make good music. I want to be this icon. I want to be this person that people want to see and listen to and pay a ridiculous amount of money to listen to me sing, which is kind of crazy to say out loud, right?
Yeah.
But the double-edged sword is there are a lot of unstable people out there, and that's the risk you run. I mean, I feel like what's going to happen is there's not going to be a toning down to the temperature when it comes to Billie Eilish trying to like get people to not be obsessed with her.
No.
I mean, there could be I don't know what she's done. I didn't really look into it that much since then. but there will definitely be more security precautions. Like, she is not going to be as friendly.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, she's not giving high fives anymore. You kidding me? That's over.
Just ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, ruined it for everyone.
Yeah, so
It's done.
that's exactly what I think is going to happen.
Cool. Let's move on to Diane Keaton. So,
Diane Keaton.
you are too young to even know really who she is, but she is an iconic actress, and she is responsible for many cult classics. Annie Hall. You've got to have seen Annie Hall.
Nope.
Oh,
I hate watching old movies.
But Annie Hall doesn't even, it's not an old movie. It's just
When did it come out?
Oh, man. 80s, maybe?
That's old movie.
But it doesn't feel like one. It's just like, literally, like, they're using the same technology that's coming out today. They're shooting on film. Like,
Does it look the same?
Yeah.
No.
It's not like CGI. It's a rom-com.
Yeah. I get that.
Like, it'd be different if, but like, dude, like your A24 movies are using the same technology.
Yeah, but the times are different, right? That's why we have A24, because that's relevant to today's society, and this is what people want now, you know?
This is a good, respect to Diane Hall, but we're segueing into this
That's what
because
A24.
this is a really good talking piece.
It always comes back to A24.
Yeah, right? It always circles back to A24. No, this is a good talking. You are saying, okay, what's the difference between a period piece shot on film today versus a 80s movie shot on film that's not a period piece, same genre? So, like a period piece 80s movie shot on film today about a rom-com,
But like based in the 80s.
Based in the 80s.
Yeah.
Versus a movie
Actually shot in the 80s.
Actually shot in the 80s. You know? Like, what's the difference?
You're emulating a style, right? And it's never going to be exact no matter what. So I think there's like this inherent disdain or like difference between the two. So we're emulating what we think was back then today with today's technology. And you're saying the same technology, same everything,
it's the same
right?
technology, yeah.
Yeah, but we're still emulating at the end of the day, and we're still providing to today's taste no matter what. Like, it's still, okay, this is the 80s, but what we want today, what we want to see today. You know what I mean? So whether it's more cinematic, whether it's more dramatic, whether it's, everything around the taste of it all is different because it's being shot today rather than it was in the 80s.
I guess you're bringing in, like, modern filmmaking techniques, which is what you're trying to say.
I suppose, yeah.
Because that's the only difference, is, like, literally the directors exist in today's world, so they film and edit and color grade according to what's popular today versus what was popular back then. And maybe the sound's better.
Yeah.
The audio mixing and whatever, that's maybe some CGI is better too. But like they weren't using CGI back then. So
but even then, like filmmaking techniques, they could still be the exact same. Like the techniques are the same, but the implementation of those techniques might be different, right? And I think that's why today's movies are different from an 80s period piece or a 90s or, anything else.
But they're not period pieces. They're just modern films, but just
Today.
shot in the 80s. Today would be a period. Like,
yeah,
for instance,
today it's a period piece.
Everybody Wants Some is a period piece of a baseball. It's like one of my favorite baseball movies. It's Richard Linklater, bombed at the box office, but I thought it was pretty good. It's about the first few days before college starts, and it follows a baseball team and a freshman joining the baseball team, and it's like a coming of age, like
underdog
kind of story? Not really underdog, but he's just like trying to find out where he fits in and trying to figure out like what this college thing's about.
Yeah.
Meets a girl, they kind of have a little fling, Zoe Deutsch or whatever you say her last name.
Don't know.
You don't know her?
No.
Oh,
I'm horrible with names.
oh man. Okay. Well, anyways,
I should not be in the film industry.
Everybody's favorite leading man these days was in that movie. The guy that was in Twisters and what's his name? Man, why can't
Twisters.
Glenn Powell?
Glenn Powell.
Glenn
Yes,
Powell was in this movie. So that'll give you a reason to watch it. But it's based in the 80s.
Okay.
Time period 80s.
Mhm.
Shot on film.
Mhm.
Nope, all practical effects. No CGI. There's literally there's no difference between that movie and an old movie. And that movie, I feel like you would really enjoy. And what you're telling me is that you would prefer to watch that movie over a literal Academy Award classic like Annie Hall, just because of the time.
Yes.
That's crazy. Anyways, Diane was known for Academy Award winning actress from Annie Hall.
Nice.
Definitely need to watch it. Like I'm going to force you to watch that movie.
Okay. There's a list. We'll add it to the list.
Have you watched any Woody Allen films?
Woody Allen?
Yeah. Do you know who he is? Woody Allen?
Yes.
Director. Director, actor, writer. He like made a movie a year. Now he's just super old. Very controversial though, because he married his daughter, kind of technically. Yeah. No one talks about that.
But they still watch his movies.
Yeah. Adopted daughter because him and Diane Keaton dated.
Okay.
And they adopted some daughters, and he was technically not her father because he was Diane Keaton's adopted daughter, and he was just kind of like dating her. I don't know the situation. Anyways, they fell in love somehow, and kind of ugly.
A
little
messy.
Black guy. And he like made a movie about it too.
Oh my
It's
god.
called Manhattan.
These are weirdos.
He dates a 17-year-old in it.
Oh my god.
Bro, it's freaking wild. He's like 40 in the movie.
I think we forget like a lot of like
Great movie though.
Yeah, I bet.
It's so good, but it's so bad.
Like I think we forget like cuz creative and like creative directors are all like influencers, social media and everything allows the word creative to be like used very frequently and very often, and it's like very broad term, right? And I think we forget like creative means artist. Like you're creative, and sometimes artists are like really weird, like just like weird and like genuinely weird people.
You kind of have to be.
Yeah, 100%. And everybody has like their squeeze, and you know everybody has their thing. But then we get to these directors of these major films, and everything's like, this isn't normal.
It's like you almost have to like buy in and look past the twisted nature of everything in order to enjoy seeing something that you never seen before because it's so crazy out of pocket.
Yeah.
And be challenged in the movie, and to like have like a thought experiment, and to have like an emotional roller coaster and confliction.
Yeah. Like internal conflicts with yourself, even with that very idea, you know?
Licorice Pizza, for instance. Have you seen that?
No.
Okay. Licorice Pizza, also on the list. From one of the best directors to ever live, who is coming out with a new movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Which one?
Shoot.
That new one he just dropped?
Yeah. What's it called?
Like One Battle.
Yeah, One Battle at a Time or something.
Yeah. See, I've heard a lot of good reviews about that movie, and
same director.
And I've seen trailers for it, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to watch it, because I've heard good reviews, and I'm like, okay, this is very like hyped, and people are saying like movie of the year, best movie so far, big praise, right? And then on top of that, and then again, going back to like the idea of like being fed an agenda or like some sort of like ulterior motive outside of the movie, that's what it feels like. Because have you seen the trailer at least?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's like about like this family who's like, you know, they're part of like a rebellion or like anti-government type of thing, and then they like finds the daughter, and then the daughter doesn't like him.
I'm not gonna lie, I was so confused in the trailers.
Yeah,
I don't really know what it's about.
Same,
but I kind of like that though. I don't like watching the movie in a trailer.
Yeah, I also agree with that. But because of that, now I'm just like, now I have this preconceived notion of like, this is anti-government. This feels like this is a message to the government, and it's going to do really well, and it is doing really well. So they like have to acknowledge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so that's why I don't want to watch it now. I'm like,
Have you seen Boogie Nights?
No.
Magnolia?
Nope.
Okay. You got so many movies you need to watch.
I don't like older movies.
I know. I'm sorry. You have to get past that. So many of the best filmmakers today are just doing what was done in the past, but better or different. I wouldn't say better, just different.
And that's why I like watching today's movies,
yeah, but
not
you don't
back
need
then.
but you could draw so much inspiration from just good movies in the past, because they're so much more limited with their resources. Like today, you have AI that can make you a movie in like 10 seconds. It seems like.
Yeah.
But
I could understand that. I think
you know?
I understand like filmmaking techniques, filmmaking rules, and stuff like that. That I need to like physically understand first before I could also like you need to understand the rules in order to be able to break the rules.
Yeah,
you know?
back then it's like everything was so raw.
Yeah.
You know, like you only had emotion to drive your story. You couldn't flash it up. I mean, you could, but it wasn't that great because special effects weren't there.
Yeah.
You know, or like IP was like barely a thing. Like anything that was spun off of a book or a comic or anything like that didn't do well back then, so they never made them.
Yeah.
It wasn't until recently that you're seeing that kind of trend going. So it's like really like to know what works story wise, like going 90s and back is a great place to start.
Yeah.
Even 2000s and back, great place to start.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I totally understand it, and I also agree. But like, so the reason I have a hard time as well is like putting that on at home and like having the attention span to like sit at home and just watch this movie and pay attention and appreciate every single thing about it is hard for me. And that is the reason why I also like the idea of like new theaters and stuff like that, like bringing back old movies and redoing them. And like I went to go see The Dark Knight in theaters again, like for I don't know what, I think it's like 20th anniversary.
you probably think that's an old movie, don't you?
I love that movie.
Yeah, well, that's that's great. I love it too, but that's not the kind of movies I'm talking
That's
about.
still
bro.
in the 2000s. It still has a 2 in it, so we're good.
No,
But again, I think that's a great way to like actually, for myself personally, like actually maintain and like continue watching older movies, that bringing them back and like let me watch this in theater. Let me go through the whole experience of like getting popcorn, sitting down, paying for a ticket, like really investing my time and energy and money to like go support this film and watch it and pay attention.
But I'm not asking you to watch The Bicycle Thief. I'm not asking you to watch Gone with the Wind. I'm not asking you to watch Charlie Chaplin. You don't have to watch any of those black and white, barely audio, mostly silent films where they all talk like, oh, there you go, you know, or they have some racist undertones or sexist undertones. I'm not asking you for those. I'm asking you for like these gems that exist that look like the movies we're making now because they're shot on film, they're shot with modern technology, and all these directors were inspired by this previous generation of black and white films and techniques like Singing in the Rain. Like, you don't have to watch any of those. You don't have to watch any of those. Just watch the movies that came from the black and white days.
Yeah.
Because that's like the golden era. Right? And then just like extract things that you can bring into, or like you see that and then you go watch La La Land and you're like, I get that.
This is connected.
Oh, I see how that, I see that, or you get that, you bring it and you go watch Magnolia from Francis Ford Coppola or something. And you're like, oh yeah, that's where he's drawing inspiration. Oh, this reminds me of this film. And then it's just like, it all feels like a one woven story that only filmmakers get.
Yeah.
And you get so much more out of it. And then you can kind of like start bringing to life your ideas. And you could, like, my whole short film that I made with 53 seconds, it's all based on, like, the whole idea was inspired by this German short film of this guy moments before death having it's spoiler, but having a whole like moment where he feels like he broke away and he's like, it's called The Bridge or something like that. And it's like a really old short film and it's like a modern adaptation of it, my short film. So like you can take these things and you can like draw from it and really like utilize the techniques that they're using to kind of evoke the emotions that you want to bring into your film, but then also bring your own little unique spin on it, your own flavor, your own taste. That way you're like mitigating your risks.
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to creation.
No, yeah.
Anyways, R.I.P. Diane Keaton.
R.I.P.
And hopefully this will get you to start watching.
I suppose.
You got to watch Annie Hall though. Okay. You have to. Okay. That's, if you're going to start anywhere, that would be the one to watch.
I wouldn't even know where to watch it on.
Don't worry, I'll give you. I have the DVD.
Where do I play a DVD?
That's true.
Can a PS5 play DVDs? I don't even know.
You know what? It's probably
here
up
somewhere.
Dude. Where is it? I have a whole box set of Woody Allen.
Love it.
I don't know if it's up here. Somewhere.
We'll get it.
We'll figure it out. All right, next subject. LinkedIn full screen vertical videos. So
on desktop.
Yeah, people like this because LinkedIn is the platform for businesses.
Yeah.
And everyone wants to pour their efforts into LinkedIn because that's where the big money man lives. Financial advisors, C-level or executive level positions. Everyone focuses on LinkedIn when it comes to networking, development, business development, etc.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, it's always been articles and medium to long form horizontal videos because it's a desktop app. But with everyone else switching over to short form, vertical videos, and everyone using LinkedIn on mobile, I'm a little surprised it took them this long to do the vertical videos. But it's interesting because it kind of opens up a few questions. The first one is, are we going to see a lot more low quality posts now? Because usually vertical short form equals phone videos because that's the thing you make them on. So you're used to seeing these highly produced like pieces trying to prop up your brand, make you feel bigger than you actually are, or like, you know, we're doing 10 mil, we're going to do 100 mil next year. So you want to give that on LinkedIn. But with vertical video, like, is that going to cheapen your brand now? If you go the route that's native for vertical or for short, or is it going to turn into an Instagram, TikTok thing, right? And then the second thing that people are talking about is like, is it going to ruin the purpose of LinkedIn, which is ultimately business networking?
Yeah.
Are we a consumable, like education first business networking tool platform that's also a little social? Or are we just Instagram but buttoned up?
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. What do you think? I have a thought, but
Yeah, I think it's good for them just to get like more users on like actually promoting. I think like the statistic is like less than 1% of LinkedIn users actually post videos to their pages and stuff like that, which is like, oh, there's like untapped market at the end of the day. But I know LinkedIn doesn't monetize. And I think if they maintain that and they don't actually give monetary value to these videos and to these posts, I think that's how they stay a little bit more buttoned up rather than just converting to Instagram 2.0, you know? Because at the end of the day, again, if an influencer can see LinkedIn, I can make money by just posting here, not by working with brands, not what we're doing. If I could just post here, gain followers, blah, 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 that's what it's going to turn into.
Yeah, that's crazy you brought that up because that's not even something that was on my radar.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see LinkedIn influencers?
Again, if they begin to monetize off of views and posts and whatever, then yes.
But like, think about it like this. What if the monetization efforts isn't even coming from LinkedIn? What if it was coming from the brands itself that are trying to get exposure on LinkedIn? Do you think there's an avenue for that?
I don't think so, because it's at the end of the day, like you said, it's business to business. It's not necessarily business to consumer or anybody else. Like, we're not trying to gain eyes on our product by posting to LinkedIn. It's more of, I'm trying to gain awareness of the professional value that I provide in this space.
Let's break down the influencer, though.
Yeah.
Because the influencer
Can mean a lot of things.
The only job of the influencer is to bring eyeballs of consumers that are interested in purchasing a product or service to that brand, right? So it's a credible source that you can relate to, that you like, and they are pumping up this brand. And so now you're going to give it consideration because a trusted source is promoting it, right? That's the influencer sort of angle. The other influencer angle is that people who hire influencers get impressions. So it's higher conversion rates and more impressions. So you're getting more visibility and you're getting an easier way to close somebody.
Yeah.
Business to business. Business to business brands, sure, call it another business, but they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, you need to get other businesses to either hire you, bring you on, or to invest in your product or service.
Yeah.
So the concept's the same. Like, the goal is the same. You need to attract eyeballs. You need to gain interest, flair. Like, you need to show your personality. You need to show your value. But the sales cycle is a little different. The sales process is different. And usually the sales process involves a lot more networking, a lot more meetings, a lot more relationship building, sales rep stuff. And then the LinkedIn is just like a way to brag. We did this. We launched this product. We're doing this. We're doing this. So it's like the salespeople, like the sales reps, are going out there making the relationships, blah, 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 blah. Here, check out our LinkedIn page. And then it's like, oh, follow our LinkedIn page. Oh, wow. Oh, they're doing a lot. Okay, that's cool. So it's kind of like a resource as opposed to like a lead gen or sort of a brand awareness thing. But an influencer in the LinkedIn space can change that. An influencer can be the sales rep now.
Yeah.
You know, maybe like what if the influencer is just like a puffed up sales rep?
Yeah.
You know, like maybe they're not the person that's closing, but what if they're like the appointment setter?
Yeah, exactly.
So like, do you think there's going to be a shift of sales reps becoming influencers, or if influencers trying to pitch themselves as sales reps? What do you think? Because I think that's the only avenue.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna see influencers enter the space on like this third party level. I think we're gonna see influencers begin to integrate into these companies and become part of their internal team and be like, okay, we're making our content for X company, you know, and they're part of the team. They're posting on their accounts, on the company accounts, stuff like that.
I don't think companies can have the budget to hire full-time influencers though.
But I think
there could be like retainer contracts where it's like really expensive and very exclusive. Like you cannot work for another company in this industry. Like you are this person's influencer, you know? But I don't think they could ever, you'd have to pay them like north of 200,000 for it to even make sense. Right.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like the term and position influencer is only growing, and that's like the hot trending job that 90% of people want to be right now. So it's like, well, is this person willing to take a cut and be able to like help us out? We grow together, you know, type of thing. And I think that's way more plausible right now and has been in effect if we are talking about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that is happening across the globe right now, where a kid from high school or out of college pick up Instagram, he knows TikTok, and they're doing their thing at a company because for a lower rate, because they don't know any better and they don't have the experience. And from there, they'll be able to do their thing internally and post on their internal in hopes of gaining a little bit more status with that company. You know what I mean?
I think I'm going to take a whole different approach. I think that, and I'm going to be really bold here, okay? I think that if any company isn't investing resources, tools, or education into making their sales reps influencers for their brand, they are going to be left behind. They're going to be left in the dust. Because ultimately, what this is telling me with LinkedIn is that this is the way business gets done now. Because LinkedIn recognized it, and now they're giving opportunity for people to become influencers on their page. So if your sales team can't generate content and push content for your business to churn into like leads or appointment setups or anything like that, they're not able to do that. The competition's going to do it, and you're going to be in the dust. Yeah. You know, that's how I see it. I mean, and there's a real opportunity for businesses to bring in just resources and education or support, even video production teams potentially, to like train these sales reps to do it on their own, because it's unreasonable for a business to hire an agency to manage 200 sales reps content pages. Like that's ridiculous. That would be crazy amount of money. But it's if you're doing, you know, vertical videos on LinkedIn, that's just a phone and a good strategy. That's literally all it takes is knowing how to shoot yourself, knowing what to talk about, knowing how to position the phone, knowing how to post, knowing how to edit. It's like very simple. But a lot of people, if you're not motivated, if you're not, and here's going to be the big roadblock. This is going to be the huge roadblock for the companies. They're like, I don't want you to be focusing on making content. I want you to focus on getting sales. Yeah. But this is telling me is that making content is focusing on getting sales. Yeah. And so if you're not a company that's investing in getting your sales reps, or at least hiring sales reps that have some sort of social media experience, you're going to be left behind. And it's like unquestionable at this point. Yeah. Not like because it's creeping into B2B. Yeah. And that's really where you have sales reps.
And that makes sense, especially with like a bunch of different social media platforms just simply introducing more metrics. Like we talked about the repost feed last week and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, the more data that we have, the more reason that you should use our platform so that you can show your company, like, hey, this has a ROI, this is return, this is getting us views or eyes or whatever you want to pick as your ROI. This is getting us that because we have the metrics here. So that's how I'm able to prove my worth to this company. This is how I know when I post content and I'm a sales rep, this is how much we're getting in return.
Yeah, and maybe it's slow burn, but the metrics for how successful you are on being a sales rep, it's going to start creeping in. It's going to be like, how many impressions did you get this month?
Yeah.
100%. Instead of how many phone calls did you make, how many impressions did you get on your videos? How many DMs did you get from your videos?
Yeah.
How many comments did you get pertaining to the business that you got on your video? Like those are going to creep in. It's probably not going to be the priority at first, but it's definitely going to be pretty close.
Yeah.
And
that's why we talked about reposts again last week. And I think sometimes most of these metrics are going to be just vanity metrics because they know that these platforms know that. So all these metrics are going to be sometimes, most of the time, I think, just vanity and just telling you, like, on Instagram posts, do views really matter as much anymore? And it's like, I don't really care about views, but now I care about click-through rate. I care about, all these other things.
Well, views matter. Like, it just depends on what your goal is.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Because views matter if you're trying to get people to know who you are.
Yeah.
The more views you got, who cares if they're commenting or liking or converting into a client? They know who you are now. So there are vanity metrics. Vanity metrics to me are just metrics that don't equal a result that you're trying to go for.
Yeah.
So if my goal on social media is to get more leads, right, and I got 10,000 views on this video or 100,000 views on this video, but I got no leads from it, that's a vanity metric.
Yeah.
Right. So like if the goal for that video was to get leads and I got 100,000 views, but I got 0 leads, then who cares about the views?
Yeah.
I didn't achieve my goal. But maybe that's just a repositioning of strategy.
Exactly. I think that's just something that whoever's leading that kind of sales influencer team or whatever, they need to have a pulse. But I feel like they might be too far away from the actual ground to actually understand that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I guess what I'm trying to say is like content, especially on B2B for vertical, with LinkedIn, that is probably going to be more effective than Instagram, YouTube, TikTok in generating leads.
I agree.
And there's oh man, I get excited thinking about it because there is such a big opportunity right now for this introduction to not have to hire a full-on agency to do one video a month to push your brand. You can have your whole sales force flooding vertical LinkedIn, just like talking about your brand, your company, your product, your blah, 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 this and that, yada, yada. Because everybody on LinkedIn is trying to do the same thing. They're trying to network. They're trying to connect. They're trying to build their business. And they're all motivated leads. So, like, yeah, maybe the views are going to be vanity metrics. But, I mean, I think there's a real opportunity. And I feel like the hardest thing is going to be companies buying into this belief.
Yeah.
But I mean, I trust the social media networks more than I trust company's internal judgment on whether it's going to work or not.
100%.
And there's no way that LinkedIn's not launching this thinking that this is where the industry is going.
Yeah.
Especially B2B industry. So that's just kind of my take on it.
I agree.
But anyways, let's
move on.
Let's move on. Yeah, we talked about that.
Exciting. That's exciting though. It is exciting.
It is really exciting.
I think it's important to kind of stay tapped into like different social media networks and be able to like understand what's going on and be able to like tap into that when it's new, especially. You know?
Yeah. Well, it's also, I mean, like what gets me excited is that there's a huge opportunity for our company to be the catalyst for these bigger companies, because like we could provide a training seminars, programs, assistance, maybe even a little bit of editing support for the sales reps to get off the ground.
Yeah.
Like a 24/7 chatbot or something, or not even a chatbot, but like you're actually talking to a human, like a strategist or something. Like, oh, can you review this video, make it better, and then get back, change this, change that, or just a full-on course programs, of like how to do this for free, how to make your first video,
exactly,
how to take your time of making a video from 4 hours to 1 hour, 1 hour simple stuff, or like maybe even like script templates for how to create specific types of content. There's a huge market for that if companies can buy into this sort of idea that a sales rep's job is now to be an influencer for their company. But anyways, might be in a year, might be in a couple months, might be in a few years.
Yeah.
We'll see when it picks up. But
Exciting.
that's kind of what I'm hoping to tap into.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, so this next one is interesting, and I was a little confused when I read the article. I'm not gonna lie, but it does pose a pretty big question. How much power should influencers have on small business owners? And is that power going to grow or is it going to shrink? So this influencer wanted to do a review of a bakery. And the bakery was like, hey, like I love that you're interested. We just don't have the budget nor the interest, but thank you.
Yeah.
She's like, no, not good enough. I'll do it in exchange for free baked goods. And they're like, still no, sorry. And so what she did was she was kind of bitter. So she went and I think according to the article, she threatened them and said, if you don't give me free stuff and let me make you this video, I'm going to just give you a horrible review.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you're not. Like, don't do that, please. Thank you. And then she did. So she created a video reviewing this bakery saying, oh, it's gross. Look at this. It's flaky. Not good. Don't come here. Blah, blah, blah. Got like 10,000 views. And then the bakery clapped back and was like, hey, like, we're open to bad reviews. Don't get me wrong. Like, if someone had a bad experience, let us know so we can fix it. But, like, this girl ain't being generous. She's bullying us.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like this is like a fringe case. I don't think a lot of influencers would be like this. But I definitely know influencers have this ego that, like, work with me. I don't have to pay for it, or I want your thing for free for exposure.
Yeah.
You know, they have this like I get it. We get it a lot in the video space. Celebrities or influencers are like, shoot my wedding video and we'll tag you. Yeah. And they're like, okay, how much is your budget? You're like, it's exposure. You know, that's always the running joke is like when you get paid in exposure and it's just overexposed footage. You know, I think that's clever.
It's funny.
But now it's like getting to this point. I mean, it's already existed. I don't know how many times it'll continue to exist, but where, like, you know, if you don't say yes, then you can get bad press pretty fast and pretty like if your voice is smaller than their voice, then a lot of people could just see their voice and not see your response to it. And now you're losing all this business from a false narrative or from just like a salty customer that just happens to have a huge following. Where do we go from here?
I think it's important, and like, I think it's important to acknowledge that like character definitely matters, and it will show through at the end of the day. So you should always treat people in that same manner, with that same vein. You should be a good person no matter what, you know. And I think that is very important, and I think majority of the world also like acknowledges that as well. And it's like, hey, this is not good behavior. And they will continue to like push that narrative, because when we go back and we look at this, right, and we see, I don't know if the bakery had a social media presence or not, you know, before this happened.
I think they did.
Yeah, so they had.
There's no way they didn't, because they had to get the word out somehow.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. And I think this is a direct, you know, example of why businesses should have, like, especially small business, you should have social media, because this stuff can happen. Yeah. You know?
That's so true though, because like you need to, like, I always say, if you're gonna go referral only, you're gonna live and die by the referral.
100%.
Live and die. So it's going great or it's going horrible, because you're either getting bad reviews or good reviews, and you can't control it. Social media, having marketing, having something that can be a form of communication to the masses is essential to mitigate that risk.
Yeah. So again, going back to like the influencer kind of blackmailing them, essentially trying to get free stuff. It's like, okay, a lot of people saw that video and you got tens of thousands of views, right? But there's always going to be like these like social media detectives, and they want to go find out whatever.
And those videos do better.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, we know inherently the overall general populace will always side with what they perceive to be good character. Yeah. And when you look at this video and then you look at this video, what sounds like a better character? And they went with, the bakery.
I don't think this is a big deal, because I think they net net positive from this. 'Cause
Exactly.
we're literally talking about the story about how they got bamboozled or bullied.
Exactly.
You know, like the story isn't, oh, this bakery sucks. You know, and like
Exactly.
they're probably going to do way better than if they would have ever hired her to give them a good review.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a problem as long as you have a presence on social media.
But like going off of, again, like the people call it like super popular now, but like the Keith Lee effect, right? Where it's like this Keith Lee, he was like very notorious for he sits in his car and he reviews food. He like tries food and he just eats it, and that's what he does, gives a rating and stuff like that. And if he would give a poor rating on this food, like these businesses would, suffer, obviously. And he was super honest, he was super genuine about it, but like this is the reality, that he had so much weight that these businesses would like go under, and that's kind of scary to think about. But at the end of the day, if like your product is good as a small business, then you should thrive. And I genuinely believe that, and whether, it was just a certain instance, and whether it was like, again, going back to why businesses should have a presence on social media is like stuff like that. You are going to get bad reviews. There's going to be unhappy people no matter what. You need a form of communication with them and with the rest of the population that sees those videos, So I think, again, should influencers have this much weight? I don't think so, personally. But the reality of it is that we live in a social media age, and this is just where we're at, and this is the game we have to play right now.
And you can't control how people are. That's just the reality.
Exactly. Whether it's...
There's going to be sucky people out there, and they're going to get following because they're controversial, and people are going to agree with them because there's other sucky people out there.
Exactly.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's really, like, good. I always think good rises to the top. The cream rises to the... whatever the phrase is.
Never heard that one.
I don't know. But, I just feel like, eventually, like just good character and good values and stuff, like people are gonna get fed up with crap. They're gonna eat so much poop and then realize, dude, I feel sick. Oh, it's because I'm eating all this garbage. And they're gonna go find things and people and messages that are actually like good for them, good for their soul, good for their mind, good for their everything, So I feel like I don't feel like this is gonna be more than just a headline and a talking point for today.
Yeah.
But I think the big takeaway is that businesses need to be on social media because they need a way to fight these kind of bad narratives
100%.
or bullying that could exist and could happen to them. Next topic is going to be, or the next thing I want to talk about is going to be about canceling Netflix. So Elon Musk is kind of old news, but it does have implications. And it is a little political. I'm not going to be political. Hopefully you're not political too, because I don't want to segment our audience. But Elon said in a tweet, cancel Netflix. They're promoting LGBTQ and trans ideals into children in their children's content, pointing at a TV show in 2022, 2023 that came out on Netflix, ran for 2 seasons. And then I guess the showrunner or creator was like mocking or saying some negative things about Charlie Kirk, who's a right-wing political commentator that was murdered. I mean, I don't know if anyone would, if you're in the dark on that, like, bro, yeah, like I don't even know how you're watching this podcast if you're in the dark on that. So, so it kind of, it hit. Like Elon has a lot of sway, has a big audience, and a lot of people are canceling their memberships. Like, I know personally people that are canceling their Netflix memberships just from this alone, right? And the big news today is that Netflix is, their stock dropped. Like, it was such a big movement of cancellations that it affected their bottom line. I personally feel like, the free market is going to do what they're going to do. But I do see this as kind of dangerous when it comes to people's freedoms of creating art and expression. Because what it tells me is that these streaming companies are going to be very subject to what people are going to pay to watch. And whether it's left-leaning or right-leaning type of content, they're going to limit your ideas and creativity, you know? Like, let's just take it on the other side. Like, I mean, we've seen for a number of years in Hollywood the opposite effect. We've seen people create content that preaches to the left-hand side, and anything that has any right-wing ideals or conservative concepts or just anything like conservative messaging would get modified or wouldn't get funded or wouldn't get greenlit or would get changed to like fit this sort of narrative. We see with comic books, right? Like characters that are men or white men turn into female or minorities, right? And I don't necessarily think that's a huge issue. Like I don't have a problem with it. That's not what I'm trying to say. But what I am trying to say is that, like, you know, when it comes to original ideas and art, like we just need to be like, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, because I feel like we should just be boundless. Like art should not have limitations. You know, like we should just like creation should happen, right? And then whether you like it or you hate it, like that's the experience of art. You know, that's like that's why we do it. Like it's emotion. You watch it and you're pissed. That's like you were saying in the last episode. I saw Emily Blunt's character. I freaking hated her, and that's how I knew I loved what she was doing. Yeah, you know. Or you'd be like, "Oh, I'm fired up about that." But I mean, it's always been an industry. It's always been a money-making industry. So if this sort of stock drop, price drop in the stock for Netflix affects the way that they greenlight projects moving forward, maybe that's just the world we live in, and maybe the art form of filmmaking needs to be less tied to the big companies and the big juggernauts, because that's more popcorn food and not actually where art and filmmaking thrives. And sort of like these ideas or concepts that you create, films and videos, should be more self-funded or crowd-funded or, you know, individually distributed on YouTube or different platforms. I mean, I don't know. Like, what's your take on it?
I think going back to, like, again, should one person have this much influence, you know? And it's just like...
But it's not one person. Oh, I guess it's Elon. But yeah. But it's not just him. It's everybody who follows him.
Yeah, but that's his influence. That's what I'm saying. Like, he influences these people to go cancel their memberships, right?
But it's not... But here's the thing, right? I agree with you. But it's not that Elon just says, hey, Netflix and we don't like each other. Go unsubscribe from Netflix. Yeah. That would be influence. What Elon's doing is saying, hey, I don't know if everyone's aware of this, but Netflix put out trans kids TV shows. So if you want to support that company, you know, continue paying them $10 a month for their membership. Yeah. And if you don't, cancel.
But it definitely wasn't like stated in that manner of, hey, here's some information. Do you like it? Do you not? You make your decision.
Yeah,
it's definitely not
not
packaged that way.
But right? but it was more closer to that than to Elon saying, I don't like Netflix, cancel.
No, yeah, I totally agree. Like, that's still his opinion, but it's like, okay, we as like people give that person his influence, and that's because we follow what they say, right? And it's like, okay, if you wanted to make that decision on your own, cool, but at the end of the day, like, how much of those subscriptions being canceled are like literally just because like those people heard this giant wave, see this person is pretty influential person, and then cancel just because of that? Like, do they genuinely, have they gone down the rabbit hole of like, oh, do I have a problem with my kids consuming this content? Did you watch it and be like, hey, yes, I have a problem. No, I don't actually have a problem. You're just going off like, no, I don't like this. I'm going to cancel, you know? And
I think it's more like they don't want to support a company that puts out content that pushes this ideology.
Yeah, again, and that's surface level thinking, right? That's not like going down the rabbit hole of like, okay, this character is, you know, whatever, like trans, say that a cartoon character is like trans, right? It's like, oh, do I actually have a problem with this? Do I feel like this cartoon is pushing this narrative? Did you go watch that cartoon? As a parent, do you know what your kids are consuming? It's like, yes or no.
I mean, it's a free market, you know?
Yeah. Most of the time, it's no, you don't know. You just make judgments based off of what you've heard. And it's like, you're not doing your due diligence as a parent and as a consumer yourself to have an actual opinion. So you just jump on the opinion that's the majority. And that is the majority.
So who's like, is it everybody's fault for not doing due diligence? Or do you feel like people are doing due diligence and that's why they're canceling? I mean, it's kind of impossible to know because ultimately what Elon did was just planted a seed. Hey, guys. Didn't know if you were aware of this, but Netflix is pushing trans ideology in kids shows, and then from what I've heard, from what like I've seen too, is that people saw that and were like, "What?" And then they looked up some articles, and those articles like surface level, broad strokes touched on the subject. They saw the video, and yeah, we have in America especially, we have a history of like not getting the full story, you know, not actually watching the TV shows, not actually like going in and taking the other side to kind of see what actually is happening as opposed to just like an emotionally triggering like fact or emotionally triggering opinion. But I mean, it's a free market. So if all these people are canceling their subscriptions, and that, I don't know if it's going to influence the way, I don't know what the Netflix response is going to be, but if it does influence the way that Netflix starts producing content to try to get those people back, then is there a problem or is this just the free market?
I think it's free market, and I think it's an opportunity for literally every other distribution center or app or whatever you want to call them, like to pick up that narrative, you know, to pick up those opportunities, those people who just canceled their subscriptions. You know
or
what I mean?
like, what if there's just no money in that anymore? What if like everybody's just like kind of against that narrative now?
Again,
I don't know. That's when we start getting political. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
But that's how it should be, though. It shouldn't be just because this person. That's why I don't think it's actually people doing their due diligence. Like, if you go on the internet looking for something, you will find it.
Yeah.
True or not, you will find it.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the reality that we live in.
I guess like the big picture, and I don't even know. We need like way more time to answer this question. But is film, stories, and art, is it something that we have to do to better society, or is it something that we do because it makes us money, right? And that's the question that we have to ask ourselves.
Yeah.
Is like are we telling this story about this trans kid because that is something that we need to tell to better society, whether you're on the side of it or not on the side of it? I feel like content that personally that I don't agree with, just blanket statement, not going to give my own personal opinion on this matter, but content that I don't agree with it actually helps me because I see where the other side's coming from. I understand where they're coming from, and I could be more sympathetic, connected, and loving to that other side, you know? And even though I don't agree with it, you know?
And I think you're in the minority with the way you think about that, you know?
Huge minority.
Exactly.
But literally, I couldn't have that opportunity unless that content existed.
True.
You know?
True. So you are yourself better for it. But
exactly.
Again, if we're talking general masses, I don't think a lot of people think that way.
I don't know.
It's unfortunate.
No, we all want to live in our like own little echo chambers.
Yeah.
And it's understandable because like we don't, you know, we want to. Yeah. There's consequences. Like the whole climate is that there's consequences to taking the other side or to being forgiving about the other side is. And whatever. I'm not going to get into that. Let's move on to the next one.
Real quick.
This is a big one. We only have 3 minutes, unfortunately. Hulu is gone. Disney Plus is absorbing Hulu.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a big wave because streaming services, if this pattern starts to pick up, there's so many, and they're all slowly getting acquired by the big juggernauts. And now they're coming in-house because there's a bubble and it popped. And work is slow in the industry. So it's like, you can't afford to have Hulu and Disney. Let's blanket together, charge a flat rate. Boom. Now we have way fewer talent or resources on the Hulu team and the Disney team. It's just the Disney team now.
Yeah.
And we have double the content and we're getting like more revenue value. But I mean, Hulu started, let's just like talk about Hulu as a free TV streaming site. So if you want to watch shows and you missed them on regular TV, you go to Hulu and you watch them the next day with commercial breaks, just as you would. No money.
Yeah.
And then it became paid. And then it became paid with ads. And then paid for no ads. And then tiers acquired by Disney. Then there's the bundle package. And now it's just gone.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I'm interested to see like how it actually affects like Hulu content because they're still keeping the name Hulu in the Disney atmosphere. So I'm interested to see how that actually changes. Like, are they still taking the shots that they would have taken if they were on their own?
I don't know. I think it's
probably
gonna fade
not.
away, dude. Because you could just get a Hulu subscription and not a Disney Plus subscription.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen anymore.
No.
You have to get a Disney Plus subscription if you want to watch Hulu stuff.
Exactly.
So like, what's the point? You know, like why does Hulu matter?
Yeah. But I guess that's why you would pay the premium to get Hulu. So, I mean, theoretically, you could make an argument that like Hulu stays the same because now you have to get through this hoop to get to Hulu.
Oh, the Hulu add-on in Disney Plus?
Exactly.
So why not just have it be Hulu?
Because they can charge more for the double bundle versus just the one.
But it just lives in the same app?
Yep.
I didn't do much research into it. All I know is that it happened.
No, yeah, they're still having Hulu just in the Disney app now. And you need to pay for Hulu.
Dude,
Like,
it just feels like we're going back to cable.
probably.
That's what it feels like,
Most
right?
likely.
It just feels like Netflix opened up this Pandora's box of streaming. Everyone makes their streamers,
Yeah.
and now everyone's slowly getting acquired and eaten because they poured all this money into something that doesn't make them the return,
Yeah.
and they're in the black, and they're like, I'm just gonna sell to this guy because this guy has so much money. Disney is not just making movies and not just making TV; they're also doing theme parks. They're also doing this and that, cruises, blah blah blah.
Yep.
You know, so they have an abundance of resources that they can buy all these companies, and now everyone's watching Disney stuff.
Hey, better for the consumer, I guess.
I don't know.
One
Is it?
subscription.
It's less complicated, I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's wrap it up. I
Let's
gotta
do
go.
it. Yep.
But yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
That
Nice.
was It's Just Works with Cameron and Alfred. Follow me at Directed by Cameron on Instagram. That's directed.by.cameron. Alfred.
Catch me on Instagram, SMWVLT, and then on YouTube at Alfred Scott.
All right. That was it. Thanks so much, guys. See you on the next one.
Later.